guys, it's me, Gabby. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, what I'm gonna be doing is something that I've really been wanting to do for a very long time, which is a book recommendations video. I am gonna do this a little bit differently. I'm gonna do the books that I've read in 2021, which was from August to December, because that's when I started getting back into reading. And I have 16 books that I've read in that 4-month period. I'm also gonna be doing them in the order that I read them in. If they have a sequel to them, I'm gonna be putting the sequel with the first book. Rating these books as well, or giving you my rating. Reading off the rating I gave them on Instagram, because I don't remember the exact rating for each book, maybe when I see the book, but I want to give you the rating that I gave on my Instagram. I have a highlight on my story, which I honestly, let me know down below if I should make an Instagram account just for books. Like, I have one, but like, I'm not sure if I want to do it for just for books, but let me know if I should. I want to say that some of these books are spicy, so just letting you know in advance what you're reading, and you know, to get permission from your parents or whatever, just letting you know in advance. So without further ado, let's actually finally get started with this video. The first book is The Wedding Date by Jasmine Gullery. Love this book. I gave this book a 5-star rating. It is black woman, white man, like trope. I read this like a while back, maybe in 2020. It's basically about Alexa, the main character, and Drew. They get stuck on an elevator. They have just like a talk because they're stuck on this elevator for a while, getting to know each other. As they're on the elevator, Drew decides to just say, you know what, why not? What's the point? And axes I can't say that word. Asks Alexa to be his date for his ex's wedding, and it just goes on from there. I really did like this book, and it's like one of my favorites. This book is kind of a part of a series, which is like, I think it's the wedding series, and the book that follows along after this is The Proposal. This book I gave 4 stars because I don't know, something about Drew and Alexa, they have a place in my heart. I'm gonna sum it up from the back because I did read this book a while ago. Nicole felt like this, went to a Dodgers game with her actor boyfriend. He ends up proposing 5 months into dating, and she says no. Pretty sure he throws a big fit, and it's just like embarrassing. So Carlos and his sister comes to save her. Go and they talk, and it goes on from there. You see some characters from The Wedding Date in this book, so I would recommend reading The Wedding Date first, then this book, so that it makes sense, like the characters, so you won't be like confused. Next book is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. This is a young adult fiction and a murder mystery, and I gave this 5 stars because it deserved a 5 star. It was so good, and the plot twist literally had me with my jaw open. I like promise you will have your jaw open. It's so good, and I really do recommend this one. To give you the blurb, or whatever you call it, Pippa, she is in her senior year of high school, and she has to do this big project, and she decides to do her town's murder. Andy was murdered by her boyfriend Sal, who then unalived himself. Pippa in her senior year decides to like reopen the case because it still haunts her town. I really do like these books because you're like going along with the character and seeing what happened. Like, you can like make assumptions about whether or not it was this person or that person, or like when you find out like the shocking facts about like the characters that died. It's honestly crazy, and it's insane, but like in the best way ever. As Pippa is re-examining this case, she finds like secrets that might lead to Sal being innocent, so you get to follow along with that, and it's really interesting and entertaining. So I would definitely recommend this book. I read this book really quick, so please do read if you go to Target or Barnes & Noble. This book also has a sequel, and it is Good Girl Bad Blood. This book I gave 4 stars. It is murder mystery as well. What happens in this book is Pippa has a podcast now, and she is like, podcast has gotten like really popular and everything. Her friend's brother goes missing, and she was called to see if maybe she can like solve this one. It didn't really pull me in like the last book, but it was a page turner. There is some romance in this book, which is so cute, but I did have trouble finishing it because I was reading other books at the same time, so it was like on and off with this book and with other books as well, but it definitely was a good book. There's also another sequel to this book, which is called, like, I don't know what it's called, but I put it on the screen right here. I really want to read it. I will get it eventually. I'll go if I see it in Target or Barnes & Noble. So I'm gonna put right here what this book has. I did not know that it contained any of these things until I actually started reading it. And when I started reading this book and I finished it, I was so shocked of just what I read. I gave this book a 3 stars. Sweet Surrender by Maya Bank. This book is actually a series. I'm not sure what books comes after it, but it basically just follows like the characters and the friends, and then like each friend and like their couple, and each couple is a story. So that's what it basically follows. This book is basically about a cop trying to find the guy who killed his partner just to bring justice. He's found a link between Killer and Faith, which is one of the main characters. Faith is like a sweet, kind person, and Gray is like, I don't even know how to describe Gray. Faith starts to become attached to Gray, and like they start becoming this thing or whatever. I'm not sure. I read this book a long time ago, like literally yesterday. I don't even know how to describe it. I just know that the reason why I gave this book 3 stars was because I felt like the ending was kind of rushed. I like books to end off on a good note, or like a I'll be peaceful at the end after I read a book. It's a lot, but it's still a really good book. I might just read the other book, not sure. The next book to follow along is Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. Penelope Douglas does not disappoint, I'll say that. This is one of the first book I've read of hers. It just basically is Misha and Ren, or Ryan. I'm not sure. I always said Ren. I think it's Ryan. Misha and Ryan, they're pen pals. They've been pen pals for, I think, since 5th grade. The teachers set them up with each other because they thought that Ryan's teacher thought that Misha was a girl, and Misha's teacher thought that Ryan was a boy. So they ended up getting paired together to be pen pals. They've been writing for each other for 7 years, up to high school. When they became pen pals, they agreed to not exchange any social media, no phone numbers, no pictures, and they had this going for 7 years. Misha ends up running across a photo of a girl online whose name is Ryan, spelled the same way, R-Y-E-N, high school senior, love Galio's pizza, worships her iPhone. It's literally very similar to what Ryan likes. And on Ryan's side, he hasn't written in 3 months, and she does not have a photo or phone number. So it just goes on from that, and it's really a good book. I really liked it, and it wasn't like cringy or anything for me. It was just like it's like high school, like literally high school. So if it's cringy, you're in high school, you know? It wasn't that bad, and I would recommend this book. Next book is from Penelope Douglas, and it is from the Devil's Night series, the first book, Corrupt. I really did like this book. Like I read this in like 2 days, or like probably 12 hours. Like this is a really thick book too. I think it has like 500 pages. I don't even know. This book is really spicy, I'll say that. I still want to read the rest of the series from this book, which is like, I'll name some of them at the top of my head, which is Hideaway. That's all I remember. Each and every single book, it follows the 4 horsemen, which is like Michael, Will, Damon, Kai. It follows each and every single one of them, and it meets like who they meet, and it follows like there's some characters from this book that's in the next book, and etc and etc. This book is about how Erica is dating Trevor, and she doesn't like Trevor whatsoever, but she does like his brother, which is Michael. Michael has like always like ignored Erica. He's always like not paid attention to her. Like if she's sitting right next to him, he would like literally pay no mind to her whatsoever. Trevor, we don't like Trevor. I'll just say that. We don't like Trevor. Erica is 19 at this point, and she is in college, and she is in the same city that Michael is. And Michael has different ideas. He wants to make every single one of her nightmares come true. The little details, they literally help so much. It makes the book even better. This book is literally one of my favorites. I would definitely buy the rest of the series. It's just that every single book is $20. Next book, Our Finest Hour by Jennifer. I don't want to mispronounce her last name, but this is her name. I gave this book 4 stars, and it also follows along, I think it's a time series. It is a part of a series. Yeah, the time series. This is book 1. Don't mind the fact that it looks like, you see how like it looks crinkly? I literally was peeling off the plastic because my intrusive, impulsive, whatever you want to call it, thoughts, they won. I'll just say that they won. I got this book from Amazon. I heard about this book on TikTok, and literally it's like one of those TikToks where it's like where they talk about the book like as if it's like their own life, and they're like, did I get you? Oh, you want to hear about more? You want to hear more? It's in this book. It is about Aubrey and Isaac. they have a one-night stand and they don't exchange numbers, they don't exchange like anything like that. They just don't stay close. It's literally just a one-night stand. And they don't see each other for a very long time. Something happens. I'm pretty sure you can assume what happened. And she needs help. They meet each other again. And it just goes on from there. I feel like it's like a thing I say a lot, but it goes on from there and it's really good. So the next book is Colleen Hoover. The very first book I read by Colleen Hoover, which was It Ends With Us. There are trigger warnings, which I'll put up right here. So take the time to see those trigger warnings. I didn't cry. I don't cry for books. Like, there's nothing wrong with me. I mean, I hope there's nothing wrong with me. It's like a roller coaster. It's up and down. Up, you're happy. Down, you're like immediately sad. To sum up this book about Lily, she's come a long way from a small town in Maine where she grew up. She graduated college, moved to Boston, and started her own business. So then she goes to this rooftop and she sees this neurosurgeon, which is Ryle, and they have this like immediate connection. And as it says here, Lily's life suddenly seems almost too good to be true, which in most cases it is, and you have to trust Ryle. Ryle is like assertive, stubborn, a little arrogant. He's sensitive, brilliant, and has a total soft spot for Lily, but Ryle's complete aversion to relationships is disturbing. Questions about her new relationship overwhelm her. So do thoughts of Atlas, which is her first love, which she met when she was like, I think 15 maybe, I don't know, but she was like really young. She was in high school when she met him. Atlas suddenly reappears and she is like her first love and her current love, which it follows you along with that. If I can say one word for this book, it'd be roller coaster. 5 stars. 5 freaking stars. Next book is All the Bright Places by Jennifer Nevin. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. I gave this book a 3 stars because I didn't really have a connection like other people did. But the movie, there were tears. There were definitely tears. I definitely cried. I will tell you that right now. But I didn't really have a connection as like other people did. This book is basically about Theodore Finch, who is fascinated by death. And he thinks of ways he might die. Every single day, he thinks about that. He also tries to find something to keep him there, while Violet Murky lives for the future, counting on the days that she, you know, graduate. And when they both meet at the ledge of the bell tower 6 stories above the ground, they have like not a connection but like a connection. Like that makes no sense at all, but like they have like this like connection. And as the last sentence says, but as Violet's world grows, Finch begins to shrink. This book, it was honestly so sad. Although I didn't have a connection, it hurt a lot. This book also has a movie, as it's on Netflix. The 11th book I read in 2021 was The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. This is my favorite book. It is at the top of my favorites. It is right there, and I gave this book 5 stars. This book is basically about Olive, which she is a 3rd-year PhD candidate, and Adam Carlson, who is a professor. What happens is that Olive is trying to convince her best friend On that she's like not interested at all in her best friend's current interest, which is Jeremy. And she has convinced On that she is dating and she is well off and she's like, you know, totally okay. Can you guess? There's no relationship. She's not dating anyone. She's trying to prove that she has like this boyfriend. So guess what? She kisses the first man she sees, who happens to be a professor, Adam. He is not her professor. He's like not even close to her professor. He is a professor, but just not hers. So this book contains fake dating trope, and it is spicy. I love this book on my heart, with all my heart. The next book is another Coho book, Colleen Hoover, All You're Perfect. Honestly, all her books are roller coasters. I'm gonna say that right now. This book contains then and now. It goes to the past and it goes back to the future. Quinn and Graham, they've been dating for 7 years. They are having a problem and they're like arguing a lot. They're not really getting along. It just takes you back to then and now, then like before they started arguing, and it like leads up to the cause of why they're arguing in the now area. It's so interesting, but it's so sad. You couldn't imagine the place that Quinn is in, and it's literally so upsetting. This book is like sad, but like it's a good sad, but like it's a bad sad. Like it takes you through these like different types of sads. I really do love this book, and I gave this book 5 stars. After I read All Your Perfects, I went on a Colleen Hoover binge and I read Ugly Love. The cover If you know, you know. This is kind of similar to All Your Perfects. It has the then and the now. So the trope of this book follows, that I know of, is my brother's best friend. To quickly explain, Corbin, which is Tate's brother, is friends with Miles. And Corbin and Miles, they know each other because they are like pilots. Tate meets Miles. Miles kind of has a thing, not a thing, but like a sexual kind of thing. They end up being kind of in a way friends with benefits. He wants no connection to her whatsoever. Tate decides to agree with that because he offered, and it goes on from there. You can see like the development if they stay like that, if they don't stay like that. It all builds up to the moment. You can kind of see why Miles closed off, why he wants no like feelings, none of that in the past parts of the chapters. It makes sense, and it's like sad. It's like a literally a roller coaster. Another 5 stars. As for my next Colleen Hoover binge, this is my next and last Colleen Hoover book that I actually read. I have like 3 more Colleen Hoover books to read. I just haven't gotten to them, which I will. This is the last Colleen Hoover book I read, which is November 9 by Colleen Hoover. Fallon meets Ben, and they have this like kind of connection, but the thing is they live literally across from each other. Ben lives in LA and Fallon lives in New York. They decide to meet every year, but on November 9th. It takes you through each and every single year of November 9, but Fallon becomes unsure if Ben has been telling her the truth or fabricating a perfect reality for the sake of the ultimate plot twist. To read the last line on this blurb, can Ben's relationship with Fallon and simultaneously his novel be considered a love story if it ends in a heartbreak? This was a 5 stars for me. This book briefly contains characters from Ugly Love, so I would recommend reading Ugly Love then November 9th, which I did literally not on purpose, but I'm glad that I decided to read Ugly Love first. Colleen Hoover always has to have a plot twist, which I'm literally not mad about whatsoever. After I went on a Colleen Hoover binge, I went on a Christina Lauren binge. Christina Lauren, there are 2 authors if you did not know, Christina and Lauren, but they decided to go by Christina Lauren. The next book is The Honeymooners by Christina Lauren. It has a plot twist, and it's literally so good. I gave this book a 5 stars, and the brief summary of this book is Olive goes to her twin sister's wedding, and she is the maid of honor, and the best man is the groom's brother. So everyone at the party gets food poisoning, and the trip is non-refundable, so you can't get a refund. Someone has to basically go for the bride and the groom. So they decide to have the maid of honor and the best man go. Ethan and Olive don't like each other whatsoever, and it literally goes on from there. And this contains tropes, but the one I can remember at the top of my head is enemies to lovers trope. My next and last book, which is my 16th book, is Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. I gave this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars. For the summary, Macy is a new pediatrics resident, and she's planning her wedding, and she runs into Elliot, which is her first and only love of her life. What happened is that Macy practically ghosted him. Elliot and Macy, they like talk and they like get to know each other more, since it's literally been a decade, 10 years since they've last seen each other. So they get to know each other, and Elliot gets to know why he didn't get any communication from Macy. This book also contains like the then and now chapters. Like the then being when they were best friends. When they were best friends, it was so cute, and like you guys just see as they grow up. I don't know the exact time, but like I'm gonna say like a random age, like 15 to 17, like it goes by year by year by year, and I really did like that. Like I really did love this book. And guess what? That is the end of today's video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know down in the comments down below if you want to see more of these videos, and like let me know if I should do them like monthly, if like after I read each book, or after like 3 months I could do this. And should I make them episodes? I don't know. If you guys want me to make them episodes, comment down below if you do want me to make them episodes, and I'll put episodes 1, 2, and 3, and just let me know. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below what you guys want to see next. And I love y'all, and see you later. See you later, YouTube. Peace.